Good morning, students. So today in the WhatsApp class, I'll be taking up two topics. The first one being the de Broglie equation and its numericals, and the second one being Heisenberg's uncertainty principle and its numerical varieties. Okay, post that I'll be also be sending you the questions which you need to work upon, and if you have any doubts, then you need to ask me back. Okay, so the first one is the de Broglie equation. Now the de Broglie equation was significant. Why? Because it treated an electron both as a particle as well as a wave, and it also created a relation between the wavelength of light along with the momentum and the velocity of the electron. Okay, so when this equation was derived, then two different theory formulae were taken into consideration. The first one was from the Planck's theory of energy, which was hc by lambda, which is energy. This was equated with the Einstein's value of energy, which was equal to mc square. Now here what we got was the value of lambda, which is equal to h upon mc, which can also be written as h upon mv and further be written as h upon P. Okay, so there was a relation which was created between lambda, which is the wavelength of light, and the velocity of the electron. So as long as the velocity of the electron is equal to the velocity of light, then we put in the value of c. Okay, otherwise whatever is the value given in the question in terms of speed, that is what you need to put in here, and you will get the value of lambda. Now see, what happens is generally the speed is given in meters per second. Okay, the value of h is joule second, and here the value of mass will be given in kg. Okay, so you need to place those values out here and then solve the numericals. Now let's look at the numerical for de Broglie equation. So here what we have been given is a tennis ball of mass 6 into 10 to the minus 2 kg is moving at a speed of 62 meters per second. What is the wavelength associated? Now this is a direct formula based question. So we will write lambda is equal to h into mv, because the velocity is not the speed of light. So this will be equal to 6.626 into 10 raised to power minus 34. The mass given is 6 into 10 raised to power minus 2 kg, and the velocity given here is 62 meters per second. Now once you solve this, the value you will get here is 1.78. This is the answer, 1.78 into 10 raised to power minus 34 meter. Okay, so this is the answer which you will get out of this for the value of lambda. Now let's look at the second variety of the numerical. It says that calculate the kinetic energy of a moving electron which has a wavelength of 4.8 into 10 raised to power minus 12 meters, and the mass of electron and the value of Planck's constant is given. So first of all, what we can derive out of this, lambda is equal to h upon m. Now velocity is not given, rest of the things are given. So we will place for velocity. Therefore velocity is equal to h upon m lambda, which is equal to 6.63 into 10 raised to power minus 34 upon mass is 9.11 into 10 raised to power minus 31 into lambda is 4.8 into 10 raised to power minus 12. Now this you have got as the velocity. Okay, now for kinetic energy, the value is mv square upon 2. Okay, so you need to place the respective values. So the value of mass is 9.11 into 10 raised to power minus 31. V square is the value for this entire stuff. So what we'll write is into 6.63 into 10 raised to power minus 34 upon 9.11 into 10 raised to power minus 31 into 4.8 into 10 raised to power minus 12. The square of this value, okay, and divided by 2. So once you solve the entire formula, your final answer should come as 1.05 into 10 raised to power minus 14 joules. Okay, so this is how you solve the question. Now here is the third variety of numerical where we are comparing the modalities of two different particles which are in motion. Okay, so we need to look at the given data and analyze and then place and solve it. Okay, so there are two particles A and B. The momentum of B is half the momentum of A and the wavelength is given, so we have to draw the wavelength of B. So ideally, if lambda A is equal to h upon PA, then of course lambda B is equal to h upon PB, that is momentum of B. Now whenever you are giving in a comparative question, you always need to either equate it or you need to take a ratio of the same. So here we will have to take the ratio and then place the respective values. Now see, as per the given question, the momentum of B is half the momentum of A. Okay, so for this part we can also write h upon PA by 2, because PB, the momentum of B, is half the momentum of A. So we can also place it like this. Now what you need to do is you need to take the ratio of the same, or you need to compare the same. So here what you will write is lambda A by lambda B is equal to h upon PA whole upon h upon PA by 2. Now the common factors you need to cancel off. So we'll cancel off h and h, we'll cancel off PA and PA. Okay. Now here what we need to do is the final equation which we receive is lambda A upon lambda B. Now this 2 was in the denominator, this goes up. Okay. So once it goes up, this will be written as 1 by 2, because this will go up here. So here it is 1, here it is 2. So we write as 1 by 2. So that means lambda B is equal to twice the value of lambda A, which is equal to 2 into 5 into 10 raised to power minus 8, which will come to 10 raised to power minus 7 meter. You should always do the final calculation at once to reduce the number of errors. Now let's understand the next concept, which was given by Heisenberg and is known as Heisenberg uncertainty principle. Okay, so now the Heisenberg uncertainty principle, as the name suggests, there is some uncertainty somewhere. Okay, now that uncertainty is regarding what? So Heisenberg said that at any given point in time, the position and the velocity, we can also write momentum, cannot be measured simultaneously. Okay, so at any given point in time, the position and the velocity cannot be measured simultaneously for a moving particle. Okay, so any particle which is moving, for that we cannot calculate the position and velocity. Now typically what is happening is, since this principle was executed for an electron, so therefore we will be talking about a circular path where we cannot measure the position and the velocity of that particular electron at any given point of time simultaneously. We can measure it separately, but we cannot measure it simultaneously. So we got a mathematical derivation from Heisenberg which stated that delta x into delta p is greater than equal to h upon 4 pi, which can also be written as delta x into m delta v is greater than equal to h upon 4 pi. Now when we are solving the numericals, you will always use the value of equal to and not greater than. And one more thing which you need to check is that the mass of that moving body will always remain fixed. So that is why if you see, I have written velocity and momentum, because the change will be in terms of velocity, okay, and not the mass. So the mass is always fixed. So delta x is the change in position, okay, whereas delta v is the change in velocity which will create the change in momentum, that is greater than equal to h upon 4 pi. Now we don't have the derivation for the same, so that's why you just need to understand this formula and solve the numericals which will follow this. Now let's look at the first numerical, which states that the mass of an electron is 9.1 into 10 raised to power minus 31 kg. So calculate the uncertainty in its velocity if the uncertainty is in the position is of the order of plus minus 10 picometer. So now if we have to apply the formula, we will have delta x into m delta v is greater than equal to h upon 4 pi. So as I had told that for the numerical you need to put in the value of is equal to. So delta x is plus minus 10 picometer. Mass is 9.1 into 10 raised to minus 31 kg. This is what we need to find. So the formula gets modified as h upon 4 pi m delta x, and then we need to place the values. So 6.626 into 10 raised to power minus 34 upon 4 into the value of pi, which is 3.14 or 22 by 7, multiplied by the mass, which is 9.1 into 10 raised to power minus 31 kg. The mass has to be substituted in kg, and the value of delta x is 10 picometers. So this will come to 10 into 10 raised to power minus 12 meters. So this has to be meters, this has to be kg. So the final answer for this question comes to 5.8 into 10 raised to power 6 meters per second. Now this is the second variety of question where you will have the uncertainty given in terms of percentage for that particular aspect, which is velocity. Okay. Now here what you need to do is you need to put in an extra step of calculation. How? The speed has been given as 500 meters per second, but the uncertainty is only of 0.02%. So we have to actually place the uncertainty in the velocity. So that is the reason the value of delta V will be taken as 0.02% of 500, which will come as 0.1 meters per second. So you don't need to place the value of 500 meters per second, but the value of 0.1, because this is defining the uncertainty in the velocity. Now you need to go ahead and place the values. So it is asking delta x. So delta x will be equal to h upon 4 pi m into delta v. So the values to be put in is 6.626 into 10 raised to power minus 34 upon 4 into 3.14. Since it is an electron, therefore the mass will be 9.1 into 10 raised to power minus 31 kg, and the value of change in velocity is only 0.1. You are not supposed to put in 500. So it is only 0.1. Now when you solve the entire stuff, you will get the value as 5.77 into 10 raised to power minus 4 meter. Okay. Now this is just a short video on certain terminologies which you may be asked for in questions. So I'm just writing 4 terms. Okay, so first is isotopes, second is isobars, third one is isotones, fourth is isoelectronic. Okay, so fourth one is isoelectronic. Now iso in all the cases means same. Okay. In isotopes, it is same atomic number but different mass number. Okay. So the best example for this is chlorine. So chlorine 1735 and chlorine 1737. In isobars, it is the same mass number but different atomic numbers. Okay, so now the example for this is we have calcium and we have argon. So calcium has atomic mass of 40, similarly argon also has atomic mass of 40, but their atomic numbers are different. Okay. Then we have isotones. Now isotones are elements with same number of neutrons. Okay, and the best example here is sodium and magnesium. So sodium is 23 and 11, magnesium is 24 and 12. So both have same number of neutrons. Okay, so these are isotones. Then we have one more concept which is isoelectronic. Now isoelectronic are species having same number of electrons. Okay, suppose we have, now this is same number of electrons. So here you can have multiple species. I'll give you one example. Say suppose F minus and neon. So F minus atomic number is 9. It has taken one electron. So that moves to 10. And neon again the atomic number is 10. So both the values show isoelectronic species. Suppose if I am talking about a group. So in the group suppose it is Cn minus, which is cyanide. So carbon has 6 electrons. Nitrogen has 7 electrons. So that makes 13. And one extra electron of the charge. So that makes 14. So this 14 here can also be justified with nitrogen molecule. Why? Because the atomic number of nitrogen is 7. So 7 2s are 14. So these are the species which are isoelectronic. So you may get questions, you may be given multiple species, you will be given questions and you will be asked out of the entire set which are isoelectronic. So you need to justify your answer with this. So like here we'll have to write 10 electrons each. Similarly, here we'll have to write 14 electrons each. So this is how you need to justify. I have given for 2 variables. You can get for 4 or 5 variables in the same question. So you need to understand, count and then go ahead with the answer.